Good morning, children. Children, under the short writing tasks, let us today understand how to draft a notice. The question on children notice writing is for 3 marks. Now, how are these 3 marks divided? Let us pay attention to this slide. Children, 1 mark is allotted to the format or the layout. And when I say format, I include the following points under it. First of all, we have to write the name of the institution. For example, if it is a musical concert being organized by ABC Public School, then the name of the institution is ABC Public School, Delhi. So you have to begin the notice with the name of the institution. Now in the next line, children, we write the word notice in bold letters, followed by the heading or the title. For example, again, blood donation camp. So this becomes your heading or title. Now on the extreme left hand side, children, we have to mention the date. After writing the detailed content, we write the name of the person who has issued the notice, followed by his or her designation. So all this comes under the format, children. Now let us look at the next point. It is the content. Now content also carries 1 mark. Under content, children, we answer the 5 W's. We answer the questions to the 5 W's. What it is, what is the event? For example, it is a musical concert, or it is a blood donation camp, or it is a PTM meeting. Why is it being organized? The blood donation camp is being organized so as to observe the World Health Day. Where is it taking place? The venue. When? Under when, I have to mention the date and the time. And whom, under whom, what will I mention? That in case I have any queries, I can contact the undersigned. So whom to contact in case of any query. Now the next is, children, the expression used, your tone and the grammatical accuracy. This too contains 1 mark, children. Under your tone and expression, we have to use a formal or official tone, because this is a formal piece of writing, children. Your tone, your expression has to be official or formal, and we also need to keep in mind that the sentences we are framing should be grammatically accurate. Okay, so 1 mark for your format, 1 mark for your detailed content, and 1 mark for your tone or expression. Let's move on to the next slide now. Children, notices are very common. Okay, now what is a notice? A notice is a formal means of communication. If I say a formal means of communication, it means it is a formal piece of announcement that is displayed to a specific group of people. Now notices are generally meant to be pinned up on specific display boards or bulletin boards, children, either in schools, educational institutions, or in public places. Okay, next point. Notices issued by the government appear in newspapers. For example, if on the eve of Republic Day parade there is a traffic diversion, so how will the common people come to know about it? The government issues a notice in the newspaper. So it comes as a written notice in the newspaper. Let's move on to the next slide, children. There are a few points that we must keep in mind while drafting a notice, children. Under the content, I have already told you that we have to answer the questions to the 5 W's. What is going to happen? That is, we have to mention the event. Where will it take place? The venue. For example, if it's a tree plantation drive, so the event is the tree plantation drive on occasion of World Environment Day. Where will it take place? In the school lawns. Okay. And when will it take place? On the 5th of June. Whom does it apply to? The target audience, the staff and the students of the school are hereby informed. So the target audience, and whom to contact in case of any queries. So if you have any queries, you can contact the undersigned. So whom to contact. Let's move on to the next slide, children. A notice must be catchy and appealing. It should attract the reader's attention. And how can we make it catchy? How can we make it appealing? By using bold letters, catchy slogans, striking words and phrases, by using different styles of writing, bold, italicized, and standard abbreviations are allowed. What do I mean by standard abbreviations? These are the shortened forms. For example, Mr. can be written as MR full stop, President as PRES full stop. So these are all the standard abbreviations, children. Now moving on to the next slide. Children, I have explained you this also. Yes. Now these points are very, very important. Always try to write the notice in passive voice. Should be in the passive voice as far as possible. Now, what is the difference between passive voice and active voice? When I will be taking up the sample notices, children, I will explain you the difference between active voice and passive voice. So avoid writing a notice in active voice. Prefer the passive voice while drafting a notice. Is always enclosed within a box. The word limit for this writing task is again 40 to 50 words. And only the words in the body, that is the detailed content of the notice, are taken into account, are counted. Okay. Last point, information given in a notice must be clear and should not cause any misunderstanding or confusion. So the notice should be accurate, precise, to the point. The information contained should be very, very clear. Okay, there shouldn't be any confusion, there shouldn't be any misunderstanding. Moving on to the next slide, children. The format. A notice should be written in the following format, children. First of all, please notice this, children. The name of the organization should come first. Okay, let me move on to the next slide. I'll explain you with this format. Just pay attention over here. Children, if I notice the format, I have already told you that we mention the name of the school or the organization issuing the notice. Please pay attention to this slide. We first mention the name of the school or the name of the institution drafting or organizing the event. For example, I told you that it's a musical concert by ABC Public School. Then the very first line, it would be ABC Public School, comma, Delhi, followed by the word notice. Can you see? It's written in bold letters, notice. After that, see, the date can be written between the heading and the notice, or it can also be written after the heading, children. Both are acceptable. Okay. So this way it is also correct. So on the extreme left hand, I have written the date and then the subject or the heading or the title. Next comes your content of the notice. Under the content, we have to answer the questions like what, where, when, who and how, or whom to contact. Okay. Any additional information if required. Again, part of the format, signature. You have to write the name of the person who has written or issued the notice, followed by his designation. For example, if it is Kamal Kishore, so you will first sign, then you will write the name Kamal Kishore and then in brackets you can write his designation. Example, if he is a CCA in charge, so you will write CCA in charge. Children, I shall be ending today's video lesson here. I have explained you the detailed format and I have also told you the 3 divisions under which a notice is divided. We have discussed the format, we have discussed the content. Now, grammatical accuracy, the tone and the expression I shall take up in the next class when we do the sample notice writings. Thank you, class.